So I told the American Consul General that time that according to me, #1 terrorist in the world is George Bush. And I'm a person who keeps on speaking very often. I had gone to Australia just a couple of months after 9/11. It comes as headlines in the newspaper at that time, December 2001. Dr. Zakir Naik calls himself a fundamentalist and says George Bush is terrorist #1. I did not know of any speaker on a public level, I don't know, maybe, who has condemned George Bush as terrorist #1. Today, it is very common. I can name 100 top personalities. And we know that Honorable Justice Husband, I didn't know that even he considered, rightly he's an honest judge, and I agree with that. I don't know when is the first time he said, I don't want to compete with him, he's more senior to me. I don't know when is the first time he said that. But now when we read records, we come to know that the president of Venezuela, Hugo Chavez, he said that the biggest terrorist in the world is George Bush. The president-elect of Bolivia, Evo Morales, he said that George Bush is a terrorist. The famous singer and activist of America, Harry Belafonte, he said the biggest terrorist in the world is George Bush. An MP in UK by the name of George Galloway, he said the biggest terrorist in the world is George Bush. And he said that the blood that is there on the hands of George Bush and Tony Blair is much more than the bombers who have done bombing in London. And when you have asked, he said, it will be justified. George Galloway, who's MP in UK, he says, it will be justified that if a suicide bomber goes and attacks and kills Tony Blair without injuring any other innocent human being, that suicide bomber will be justified. Who said that? George Galloway. We have Jyoti Basu, a few months back, he said, when George Bush came to India, that #1 terrorist is George Bush. Everyone says that, but the Indian government wants to invite him. For what? So that we learn the art of terrorism? Recently, a couple of days back, it was a news article in the newspapers that the Nobel Prize winner Betty Williams, she said that she would love to kill George Bush. She would love to kill George Bush, which I differ.